The .NET platform is a multi-platform framework. It can target multiple operating systems as well as multiple processor architectures. For example, it can be made to run on 32-bit and 64-bit x86 architecture, and it can also run on 32 and 64-bit ARM architecture. So you can run the .NET platform on a Raspberry Pi, and you can also use it for embedded system development. Now, it also supports multiple operating systems like Windows. It supports the whole family, including the Windows 10, the Windows Server editions, and the Windows 11. It also supports multiple Linux distros like Ubuntu, Fedora, Arch, etc. And it also supports the Mac OS X. So you can build truly cross-platform applications using the .NET platform. Please note that the WPF and the WinForm graphical user interface is limited to Windows only. You cannot use that on Linux and Mac OS. Now, to target multiple processors or operating systems, the .NET platform uses something called as a runtime ID or RID. So you can go to the Microsoft website and you can get the full access, the full list of the RIDs. The link to the Microsoft website is actually in the description. So this is the .NET runtime identifier, and you can check it from here, the different types of architecture that is supported by the .NET platform and how to use it. So I will only mention the commonly used RIDs. That is something like WinX64. This is the default option. So whenever you compile something, the compilation is usually done for the 64-bit architecture. You can also go for the 32-bit Windows architecture using the Win-x86 RID tag. So for running Mac OS, you have to use the OSX-x64-bit for the 64-bit Mac. Now you have the Linux also for both x64 and 32-bit Linux. Now if you want to run your code on 32-bit ARM microcontrollers, you can use this one. Now to compile for a particular architecture, you have to use the -R flag. This is the -R flag, and you have to give the runtime ID, that is Win-x64, or whatever you want to do. You can check it from here or use it from the Microsoft website. You can also use the --runtime also. Now I will use the My Console app. That is the one we have created earlier. This is the simple one, which does not have any dependencies. So I will create a .NET publish. Then I will give the runtime. I'm going to give the Windows 64-bit runtime. That is actually the default. So this will be that one. Copy. So this will be a multi-file exe. So there is a folder called Win-x64. You can find the exe file inside this one. So this is the 64-bit version of that particular program. So if you can use it for only 64-bit computers. So I'll create one for the x86 architecture, that is the 32-bit one. So I will be going for the Windows version. So you can get the correct RID from our website. So Win-x86 for 32-bit Windows. So you can change it here. So this will be created in a separate folder. Earlier, all our data was inside the Win-x64 folder, then inside the publish one. So it will create another called as Win-x86. As you can see, the exe files inside the Win-x86 publish folder. So you can find it here. So if you go inside the folder tree, there will be two folders. This was the first one we created for the 64-bit one, and this is the 32-bit one. And there is the publish folder, and inside that you can find the 32-bit version. Now you can also create it for Linux also. You just have to give the correct RID. So I'll create one for Linux also. Linux one. So this will be Linux-x64. So these are command line programs. So it will work on almost all systems. So all your Linux files are inside this folder, and you can find it inside publish. So this is the executable. So this is a Linux file, so there is no .exe extension. So you have to run this thing on a Linux terminal. It won't work here. As you can see from the small size of the exe file, the .NET runtime is not included. So when you're running this code on, exe on other platforms, you need to install the correct appropriate runtime for this particular file. These are files that are dependent upon the runtime. Here I would like you to introduce to our website. This is our website name, xanthium.in. I will put the link in the description. As you can see from here, we provide tutorials on various embedded systems like Arduino, Atmega 328B, microchip, and different ways to interface these particular microcontrollers to the PC. We also provide tutorials on languages like Python, .NET, like C#, Visual Basic .NET, etc. So you can check our website for these kinds of tutorials. We also manufacture embedded system products like the USB to serial converter that you can see from here, both the isolated one and the non-isolated one. Now we also have a companion website to this particular video. So the link to that particular website will be in the descriptions. So do check it out. So do check our stores also and our products like this one. This is a completely isolated USB to serial converter. So this is the USB section, and this is the RS-232 and the RS-485 converter. The whole section is completely isolated using both digital and power planes. So nothing, whatever happens wrong here will not be transmitted to your PC. So this thing is ideal for interfacing with different legacy USB to serial RS-232 devices or RS-485 devices. This is the device I was talking about. As you can see, the ground is completely isolated from here. And you have an isolated RS-232 port as well as an isolated RS-485 port. This is a DB9 port. We also have a screw terminal for RS-232. So if you don't need any isolated USB to serial converter, we also make a simple USB to serial converter. This one. Here we have this is non-isolated, but it has RS-485 port as well as the RS-232 port. Similar to the previous one, but non-isolated. So do check it out. If you want it, you can buy it from our store.